Hello, welcome to BA Survival. I'm out tonight doing a solo overnight camping trip. It's been the first weekend in quite a while that I've actually had a chance to come out and do it, so I thought I'd take the opportunity while I can and have an overnight camping trip. The weather's looking pretty miserable though, it's quite windy and we're probably going to get some rain, but I've got a waterproof coat and a poncho, so we'll see. Okay. Walking along through the woods then, trying to find somewhere to camp, and stumbled across 3 deer with the wind behind me. I don't think they heard or smelled me coming, but I didn't know they were here until they bolted off, but I didn't get my camera out a chance to see them. Hopefully I'll get another shot of them in a second. Just realised what I said there was completely wrong. The wind's in my face, not behind me. But no, I seem to have startled them and they've run off. I wasn't particularly trying to look or sneak up, I was just generally walking through the woods. Found a clearing because it was the easiest way, and it must have been what they were using to get around. But I thought there was one or two. When I turned the corner, there was loads of them. It's quite unusual, you don't tend to see a lot of deer around here. I want to try a few things. Firstly, I have a bunch of ferns. It did eventually go. Everything in this wood is damp. It's very windy. Okay, I'm now going to try and get some really fine curls. This fine feather stick. Hopefully I can get most of that. Okay, that's going quite nicely. I'd put a couple more on there and try and stop the wind blowing it out, but I have got a flame. Okay, next I want to try a piece of birch bark. This is a really damp piece. It was on a tree that had fallen over, and it's quite damp. But hopefully I can get that to work. But we shall see. Stop the wind from blowing that way. It's probably not a big enough pile. I'll have to try again. Okay, that went reasonably easy for saying how wet it was. It was literally lying on the floor. Okay, it blew out. Okay, once you get a bigger pile going, it's not going to blow out. It'll last for a while, but whether the rest lights. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed that. So that was me trying to light things with my ferro rod in less than ideal conditions. Most of the materials are wet. Finding a dry piece of pine works quite well with the feather sticks. Even the birch bark that was wet lighted eventually, and the driest ferns that I could find around lit as well. I couldn't get the pine needles to light. But that's pretty much everything in this area around me that I could light. I'm not sure, just a quick one on the ferro rod. I don't know the brand of this one. It was just a cheap one I picked up for £4 or £5 that I just use practicing things like this.
Tried to record filming putting up the tarp, but it was too dark and you couldn't actually see anything, so I've got a few photos. Just a simple kind of diagonal lean-to pyramid style tarp. I was putting it up and it was very rainy, very windy, so I had to stop taking photos because it was starting to get the camera wet.
Okay, so this is it under the poncho. I'm using the red light because the white light keeps destroying my eyes. But there's white light on the camera. Just going to set out my SF bivvy and my roll mat. I can't remember the name of the roll mat. These are two things I've not tried yet, so I wanted to get out. I brought them quite recently, so I just wanted to try them out. Okay, but that should be all. The main reason I've brought this particular setup is for the lightweightness of it. The super light DD tarp, the SF. I'll get back to you in the morning. And the roll mat. I want to start doing more longer walks and expedition walks, so I want to try and downsize a lot of my kit. I can't remember the name of it, but the roll mat is a Thermorest Neo Air. So this is a reasonably small bag for kind of mid-November camp. But okay, so that's my sleeping system set up. I say a lot more lightweight than what I'm used to, and the military stuff is probably a lot more suited to this terrain. But I want to see if I can, multitask my kit for bushcraft and kind of lightweight hiking. Okay, so I got into my sleeping bag and into my bivvy bag, just because it's the most comfortable place to be. I took my boots off so I haven't got anything muddy.
and anything else I try to put in waterproof bags. Normally I put them in the bivvy bag with me, but this one's not as roomy as the military one. Normally when I'm sleeping out in a sleeping bag, I do try and sleep in as little clothes as possible, just down to underwear. That way my body heat can heat up the air in the sleeping bag and keep me warm, rather than just heating up the area of clothing that I'm particularly wearing. But under here it's just a nice opportunity to get out and just enjoy being out, you know, whether it's rainy, windy or whatever. In fact, I like the sound of the rain on the top. I'm not looking at the camera because it's kind of blinding me, but I'm just going to sit and do some reading. Brought probably a favourite of most of yours, a lot of you have read it, Lofty Wildsman's SAS Survival Handbook. Just slowly working my way through it. I've got quite a few survival handbooks, and I figure if they just spend their time on the shelf I don't get any benefit from them, so I am actually trying to work my way reading through it. I'm not reading it page for page, although I am trying to. I cut and change between bits that interest me, and I'll go back and I'll read an area on first aid, and then read an area on knots and an area on plants, for instance. So hopefully I'll have read the entire book, but I'm reading it in sections of whatever's interesting me at the time. But I think there can be a world of knowledge found from survival and bushcraft books, and like I say, if you don't actually read them, then you can't learn it. I seem to find I seem to collect them. Half my bookshelf is full of them, and if so I need to get around to reading them. I've read a couple of them, just slowly working my way through. Right, morning. Yeah. Morning. Yeah, I had a nice night's sleep. The raw mat's really comfy. The bivvy bag worked well. The sleeping bag was probably a little bit too thin, but there again it is only a summer one season type sleeping bag. So perhaps I could have done with a slightly thick one, or I could have done with putting on some more clothes, but I wasn't freezing, just a little cold, but didn't really stop me getting any sleep. So I'm going to get up and have some breakfast and do some more bushcraft.